neither of these guys are perfect, Garoppolo and Lance. Both of them have their issues, and I think both of them have their supporters, and they dig in so hard, and both of their supporters are constantly sniping at the other players' weaknesses. And you got Trey Lance fans talking about Jimmy Garoppolo's turnovers, and you got Jimmy Garoppolo fans talking about Trey Lance's inaccuracy, inconsistency, and inexperience. Which do you think is the bigger impediment to winning? The biggest impediment to winning?
Turnovers. I
It's like
think,
easy, right?
yeah, that's why I don't really get this. Like Jimmy G turns the ball over. It's the number one thing I don't like about him is
Yes.
that I know he's going to turn it over, and turnovers are such a huge have such a huge impact on the game.
Yeah.
So if Trey Lance can, if by playing Trey Lance and he decreases exponentially the amount of turnovers, that's a win for me in itself. Aside from the running I get and the explosive plays and all. Well, will he miss a play high, or will maybe his completion percentage won't be as high as Jimmy's? Or probably, maybe.
Mhm.
But just the turnovers alone is going to help me big time. Or the decrease of the turnovers alone it's huge.
That's the thing with Jimmy. When people talk about all the nice things he does, it's just his he's way too limited to be throwing those picks. Like what they already make it so he doesn't have to throw downfield. It's already just really short stuff, and still somehow he still finds ways to throw interceptions to linebackers and stuff. I That's what to me why Kyle Shanahan's so frustrated and why he's moving on, and why I think he's probably wanted to move on for years. It's not the injury. It's not just the injuries. It's this. Like they basically use him at like a $27 million game manager, which already isn't okay. And then even within like this safety first training wheels offense, he's giving the ball away. And when he's not getting picked, it's like DB's getting two hands on the ball and like juggling it for 3 seconds, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Problem. And I think even I'm okay with Trey Lance sailing a few passes, especially if they're to the sideline. The thing that's concerning about him is missing high over the middle is going to lead to picks, but don't let him throw over the middle right now. Call those passes to the sideline, because Jimmy can't throw those passes to the sideline. If he misses high, that's okay. The other thing about using him in the red zone, if he misses high, it's a field goal.
Right.
It's a field goal. It's an incomplete pass. Yeah.
But even then, I mean, he's gonna throw picks, but he's probably not gonna throw as many as Jimmy. And if you play Lance and he's not doing it, and he's not turning the ball over, then you gotta play him. You gotta.
Yeah.
And Jimmy does. Like I said this before. I think last week is, if they're playing Jimmy and he's turned the ball over, the guys that are going to start turning first for Lance are the defense. The defense is not going to want to have to flip fields and go back out there again, especially if they're making stops. They're not going to be happy about it.
And I think what we're seeing with Jimmy is like, this isn't going away. This is becoming a bigger and bigger. It's always been a problem, but it's becoming a bigger and bigger problem. And I think what we've seen since 2019, late 2019, is that he doesn't respond well to pressure. And the first couple of years of his career where he was here, there wasn't a lot of pressure on him. There was no pressure when he got here. He was never really pushed. And then as soon as the pressure was on was when his first appearance in the playoffs. He didn't respond well. He really crumbled in that fourth quarter of the Super Bowl in a way I don't think anyone's ever seen a quarterback do it. And then since then, the pressure's been on for him to like prove himself, and he's continually shrunk. And now he's in a quarterback competition, and he's just throwing a pick a day, almost. So I wonder if this pressurized situation is bringing out the worst in him.
I see it. I just see it as he's the same. He's been the same quarterback since 2019. 2019, he thinks some things broke his way, but he was still the same quarterback back then. Like he still threw interceptions in 2019.
He did. All I'm just saying is like he had that day in 2019 where he threw 5, which was like a record. It was definitely a record, 5 in a row. But this year, just like the inevitable consistency, like it's coming today, and you know it. I've never seen that from him before. I mean, it was like it's coming today, and it's gonna be a linebacker or something. It's just I don't know what that is, but to me that's I guess no one agrees with me, but I thought this was the worst I've seen Jimmy. And then when I saw him against the Chargers, I thought that was terrible. I thought he looked skittish and freaked out playing against basically a Chargers defense that was playing 4 starters, 3. I don't know. Maybe I'm too hard on him. Maybe I'm seeing what I want to see or something. I don't know.
Do you think he throws a pick on Sunday?
If they let him play. I mean, if they let him throw 14 passes, yeah. And that's why I keep saying it's like, oh, look, Kyle, like, do whatever you want to do. Start whoever you want to start week 1. But you know how this is going to go. There's a reason you drafted Trey Lance. And if you start Jimmy week 1, he's probably not going to finish Jimmy week 1. I don't think he may not win week 1. But the problem that Kyle is in right now is that week 1 game might be, I know that the Lions look bad, but what if you lose to the Lions? What if either quarterback is ready to win that game?
I mean, people are like, oh, we can't lose to Lions, we can't lose to Eagles, but it's the NFL,
right? Right.
There is the phrase "any given Sunday,"
right?
So they could lose to the Lions.
They absolutely could.
Could lose to the Eagles. And do you know if they did? You know what probably will have happened? They will have turned the ball over.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's like the reason the Niners have a quarterback controversy right now isn't because both quarterbacks lit it up in practice in camp. That's not what happened. What happened is the vet really either underwhelmed or flatlined, plateaued. And then the rookie showed all of his inexperience, even though he's got a tremendous skill set. So we're not saying that one of them won't like round into form, but week 1 is a little dicey. Week 1's a little dicey.
Yeah, it'll be super interesting if one of these guys, especially Lance, if he does play well on Sunday and like lights it up, if it'll change Kyle's thinking,
or if either one lights it up, which I think is interesting. I think he's just desperate for someone to play well at this point. I don't think he cares.
Yeah,
I don't think he cares. Just anyone.
Somebody make my decision.
Someone make this decision for me. I don't want to make this decision. I'm terrible at making decisions. Cali Boy says if Lance starts all season, is he the favorite for Rookie of the Year? I did notice that Mac Jones was, putting together some good games up in New England. Zach Wilson.
Well, I mean,
now, this kid is going to be in a good spot because he could win a lot of games, which would help. But Justin Herbert didn't win a bunch of games, and he won the Rookie of the Year. It's going to be tough. Not if he completes 57% of his passes. We'll see. We'll see.
He's going right there. Remember, there are a couple of rookie quarterbacks. Remember, you got Justin Fields. I know they said they're not going to start him, but it's only a matter of time until he plays over there. You've got Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't have the weapons that Lance does, but he's still going to start. Then you've got Zach Wilson. He's got an offensive line. He's looked good in preseason. And then if Mac Jones starts, you've got a bunch of guys out there that are quarterbacks that could possibly put up numbers.
Daniel says, I stayed at the hotel that the Niners stayed at in Irvine, and after a few hours of watching, Jimmy was the only person I ever saw alone. Weird. Well, I wasn't there. I mean, I'll take your word for it, Daniel, but that is interesting. I haven't been in the locker room in a long time. I haven't been in the locker room since they lost the Super Bowl, so I don't know what they're like now. Very interesting. And I'm not going to be in the locker room this year either. They already told us the bad news. We're not allowed. Not invited. Double B Studio says, Winston turnover machine.
Will Staley be?
Huh?
Will Staley be allowed in the locker room?
Probably. No. Oh, you have to work for 49ers.com. Double B Studio says Winston turnover machine arm landed a job. Maybe Jimmy could end up getting picked up after this season. Yeah, but I mean, look how Jameis had to do it. I mean, he took a $1 million contract and sat on the bench for a year and proved himself.
2 things with this. Winston is younger.
Yeah.
The other he has you just said it. He has an arm. And then the last part is Winston doesn't have injury issues. Like, he's been relatively healthy for his career.
Yeah. The coach says the goal isn't trading one managed quarterback for another. All we're doing is trading evils. Jimmy's issues are clear. Trey's issues can be compounded by failure. So you're saying playing Jimmy and letting him fail is fine, but playing Trey too early can hurt his confidence. That's fine. But I'm just saying, like, the problem is, look, if the Niners had 29-year-old Alex Smith, I could see the argument for not playing Trey Lance this year. But that's not what they have. They have Jimmy Garoppolo. And even if you want him to be the bridge quarterback, there's no guarantee that you can even make it through the first half of the first game.
I think if you can protect Trey Lance, if he's not getting killed out there, they have, as long as they don't get an injury on the offensive line should be all right. They got Trent Williams. I mean, I know right guard looks like it's a problem, but if they can run the ball, and they don't have a terrible offensive line. So if they can protect him, the worst thing that I think they could have for a rookie quarterback is for him to get that internal clock thrown off and just by too much pressure. So I think if they can protect him, then his failures won't end up being lifetime failures. He'll learn from them and he'll get better as the year goes on.
Santiago said, "Oh, go ahead."
No, that's ultimately to me the argument for playing him, because when he fails, he's going to learn and get better.
Certainly. Santiago says, was watching John Lynch highlights, and I can't believe he's so well spoken and composed and doesn't have some serious brain trauma. Yeah, I guess I've noticed in seeing him in person, he's got a real thick head and a real thick neck, and I feel like some people are just built to play football. I think he's got that. He's got that build. I think he can. I don't know. I'm not surprised. He's got a thick neck. I got a pencil neck. He got a thick neck.
In Bill Walsh's book, one of the things he talks about with offensive linemen is bone density.
Interesting.
Bone density and offensive linemen. So he didn't mention anything about thick necks and big heads.
I think that's what I was going for, though. But yeah, me and Bill Walsh basically thinking the same thing. Bono says, trivia, when Jerry Rice left the Niners in the year 2000, what player was second in all-time receptions for the 49ers?
Second in all-time.
All-time. Ooh, this is a tough one. Was it R.C. Owens? Was it Dwight Clark? Was it someone from the 70s? Was it John Taylor? No. Was it Freddie Solomon? No. I'm just going to name everyone and just say no. I don't know. Bo's been hitting us with some good trivia.
I was going to say, I saw like another stream that year. I think it was a stream with Jason, and Bo was on there throwing up trivia.
I know there's another great 49ers player, wide receiver from the 70s who went to Stanford too, that I forget his name. It might have been that dude. Damn. My dad covered him. Anyway. Sorry. You stumped me. You stumped us. Who's a surprise player that won't make it? Will. We talked about that. Will. Surprise player who will make it? Jalen Hurd.
Yeah. I mean, I like Maiden, I think.
Yeah. Maiden. Let's give it to Maiden. Surprise player who won't make it?
Yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised because I know that they have their 4 safeties. So,
yeah. Double B Studio says sounded like Kyle. Kyle sounded like Jalen Hurd is making the 6th receiver spot, and the 5th receiver will be the punt returner, potential higher than the rest of the wide receivers.
Hurd would be a guy that I would be really surprised if he did make it. I know. I'm not saying that's what I would do. That I might cut him, but to me, I think in my mind, I think that he's made the roster for them, and that's how they see it. That they want him on the team. So I would be surprised if they cut him. But yeah,
hold on, real quick with Hurd. Let's see him make it through a game first.
Yeah, Hurd reminds me of like in high school, you got these guys that they always have ailing injuries like during the week, and then all of a sudden when it's like
I'm good
Thursday night, I'm good, coach.
I'm good, coach. Let me play.
I'm good, coach. Yeah. I'm ready.
Training camp's over. Oh, my knee feels better. No one wants to go through training camp.
Yeah,
he didn't go through training camp anyway. They kind of gave him that carte blanche to do whatever they want.
Is he playing tomorrow? Did Kyle say he's going to play?
I think so. He better play. Play, make a catch, don't get hurt, then maybe we'll let you on the team.
If he has a game, Niners fans are going to go freaking nuts.
He's the most popular player on the team by far.
Dude. Oh, you don't get any more practice. I was gonna say if he has a game, you definitely have to record him in practice.
No more practice. Well, I can watch him I can get him warming up and stuff. The same thing as normal.